What is up? I am back. This is Warren's vlog, episode 60. I had like a year, almost a year took a year sabbatical, took some time off, man. A lot of reasons for that. I just didn't have the passion to do the videos anymore. Plus, I wanted to take some time off to try to figure out some new ways I could do videos in the future because I know I didn't want to stop. But I decided to start doing these every week now. So if you remember last time, I was just doing the pay-per-views, and I would do like special pay-per-views, like old school pay-per-views, like WWF pay-per-views. But I think now every week I'm gonna do Raw and SmackDown and compare the two. And I know everyone else on YouTube is doing the same thing. I'm not really. I'm just doing this for my entertainment, and because I enjoy doing it, and I really miss doing it. So, this is. Let me explain how this is gonna work. This is not like my normal pay-per-views where I give a rating. I'm basically just gonna review Raw, and I'm gonna go hour by hour, segment by segment, and decide whether I like it or not. That's basically it. I was gonna try to do my predictions video for Elimination Chamber, but the full card is not up yet. But for the matches that are announced, I will give my prediction for. And when the entire card for Elimination Chamber is available, I will give you that video as well. I'll probably do that either Friday or Saturday. More than likely Saturday. Okay. So yeah. Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna get this out the way now. I'm probably gonna talk about this in future videos, but it was reported from Dave Meltzer, and another source, but Dave Meltzer is the more credible source, that after WrestleMania, WWE is gonna have just dual branded pay-per-views. So there's gonna be no more brand exclusive pay-per-views. Everyone's gonna be under the same umbrella every month. The only thing is, now the pay-per-views are going to be 4 hours, which I guess in hindsight is not really that big a deal because I've noticed last year some of the pay-per-views were going over 3 hours anyway, like Hell in a Cell 2017, which I was there for in Detroit. That was like 3.5 hours. But that Hell in a Cell match with Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon alone was 30 minutes. So I'm parched. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm already out of breath. Oh, and any music that you hear in the background, I do not own the rights to, which is something I never did in my prior videos. But I'm going to do it now because I'm trying to do things better. All right, so Monday Night Raw animated. That's not a word. Monday Night Raw took place in Phoenix, Arizona tonight, February 19th, 2018. I have my notebook with notes that I took. And so Raw goes on the air. They do a memorial to the Florida shooting. I'm not going to spend too much time on that topic alone. I mean, my Facebook feed is full of different opinions. But I'm just going to say that it was a nice thing that WWE did to honor the victims of the shooting. And I'm going to move on from that. And we kick off Raw with a match. And that's good. That's good because normally we have this formula, which is more present on SmackDown more so now, where the authority figure comes out and talks, and AJ Styles bitches about the fact that his life is being ruined. But we'll get to that tomorrow on SmackDown. And the match that they kick off with is a gauntlet match with all 7 men that are going to be in the Elimination Chamber this Sunday. Now, the winner of this Elimination Chamber match will go on to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania for the Universal title. It's going to be Roman Reigns. Anyway, the seven guys in this match, I'm going to read them off in the order that they entered. It was Reigns, Rollins, Cena, Elias, Finn Balor, Miz, and Braun Strowman. Miz is going to enter first because he lost to Cena in a match on Raw. To determine that, everyone else earned themselves into the chamber. Finn Balor, Seth Rollins was a last-minute entry because he competed in that Fatal 5-Way match, and they both got the pinfall on, I want to say Braun, but I'm not sure. But they got the double pinfall. Rollins and Finn Balor both got a pinfall on somebody, And instead of having a match between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins to see who gets the 6th spot, Kurt Angle just makes it a 7-man chamber on Facebook. Yeah. I just it. I wasn't sure about that, but what really put me over the edge with it was Michael Cole tonight saying that it's the biggest Elimination Chamber match in history. And it's 7 fucking guys. Okay? Shut up, Michael Cole. And I just thought about this. Wasn't there like a tag team Elimination Chamber match with like 8 motherfuckers in it? But no, this is the biggest one because it's 7. Jeez. And it was 8 because it was 4 teams. But I guess the producers in WWE or Vince McMahon thinks that the WWE universe doesn't have a good memory or whatever. So this gauntlet match starts off with Rollins and Reigns, and it starts off kind of slow at first, but it picks up. They do some stuff. One spot that I like was Rollins went for like a back kick, and he ran off the ropes to do an offensive move on Reigns, and Reigns just stood up like, "What, bitch?" And then he went to commercial break. So that match ended with a roll-up. Rollins would end up rolling up Reigns to get the win. The third person to enter was John Cena. And between John Cena and Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins wrestled 65 fucking minutes. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, whether that man wins or whether he loses, it is Monday Night Rollins. And I will go as far as to say that Seth Rollins is 2018's version of Shawn Michaels. And to me, he proved that tonight. That man went 65 minutes competing against Roman Reigns and John Cena and Elias Samson. I forgot about Elias Samson. Which he will be entering the chamber last, by the way, because he won that right as well. So, Rollins beat Reigns. He beat Cena. One thing that I thought was ridiculous, though, was Rollins kicked out of an attitude adjustment after wrestling for 55 minutes and still kicked out. I thought that was a little ridiculous, but whatever. I can get over it. So Rollins would beat Cena with he would hit, I think, the soul butt, the kick to the stomach, the knee, which Michael Cole calls the knee. I think it was the knee, the kick to the stomach, and then the curb stomp, which apparently is allowed now, which I'm cool with because the pedigree just looked horrible from Rollins. And it was just like one of those moves that like those indie guy does. Like, I can't think of a move, so I'm just going to use a pedigree. I'm going to use a stunner. I'm just going to use a move that everyone uses. Speaking of stunners, John Cena busted out a pretty cool looking stunner. It was like a shoulder thing where he had him on his shoulder and he dropped him with a stunner. That was cool. Of course, Rollins kicked out of it. But so that was cool. Rollins went over Reigns. He went over Cena with the curb stomp. And Elias beat him with the drift away. Then after Elias came out, let me look at my notes. After Elias, it was Finn Balor. Finn Balor would beat him with the coup de grace. Then after Finn Balor, The Miz would enter the gauntlet. And he would use his Miztourage to defeat Finn Balor. And then it was time to get these hands. Braun Strowman came out and just wrecked Miz's shit. And it was awesome. And all that pretty much was the first 2 hours of the show. If my notes are correct, and they are, yeah. That gauntlet match took, like, basically the first 2 hours of Raw. All that happened. They would have mid-match interviews during the duration of the gauntlet matches, which I didn't like, because I kind of felt like it took focus away from the match. But what really put these interviews over the edge for me was Cena's specific interview. For the past couple weeks, Cena has been telegraphing that he's basically going to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He even said on Raw a couple weeks ago that WrestleMania is about this. It's epic. It's this. It's that. It's about bringing legends back from the dead. Who the fuck else could he be talking about? And then, in this interview, he says, I'll give Cena credit first before I show him. Cena did kind of put Rollins over. He's one of the best competitors, on Raw and this, that, and the other. And then he said, well, Rollins beat me because I have my mind on so many other things right now, and Rollins is able to concentrate solely on wrestling. I didn't like that. And then he says that, I have to win. I have to win the Elimination Chamber match because if I don't win, I have no road to WrestleMania. And we all know where this is going, right? We know where this is going, right? Cena's going to lose. And then he's going to come out on Raw and say, I have no road to WrestleMania. Dong! Lights go out. Taker appears in the ring. And then that sets up to their match at WrestleMania. So again, that gauntlet match really took up the first 2 hours of Raw. I'm looking through my notes to see if I missed anything. Nothing important. Okay, so we go on to hour 3. And hour 3 starts off with the Jeff Jarrett announcement. Let me talk about that a little bit. I'm not a big fan of Jeff Jarrett. I mean, I don't hate the guy. Some people really have this disdain for him. I don't really care one way or the other. He's done things in the business, I guess, enough to be recognized in the Hall of Fame, and that's cool. When I first heard the news, it was this morning at work. I was taking a shit. I know that may be too much information when I was sitting in the bathroom, because that's what I do at work. I just look on my phone and use the bathroom. But I'm looking at my phone, I'm like, oh, Jeff Jarrett. And I was shocked at first. But then I thought about everyone else that's mended fences with Vince. You have your, you have your Hogans, your Bretts, your Austin, your Warriors. I could do a video on that alone of people that have left the WWE on bad terms. Bruno, and have mended fences with Vince. So when I looked at it from that perspective, Jeff Jarrett wasn't really that a surprise to me, I guess. So Jeff's going in there. He's going to join Goldberg, who I believe is headlining, the Dudley Boys, and Ivory, which is the person I popped for the most out of all the announcements was Ivory, because I love me some Ivory, especially 1999 Ivory. All right, so they do the Jeff Jarrett announcement. Oscar comes out and has an interview, and it's just so cringeworthy. And I hate to criticize it because she can't help the way she talks. And it's not even so much me criticizing Oscar. It's me criticizing the people putting the show together. If you know Oscar isn't a great speaker, don't put a mic in front of her. Same thing with Reigns earlier. That's what I forgot to mention. Reigns has gotten better as a promo, but he still kind of sucks. So I take the Paul Heyman approach to this, and that is basically show off the positives and hide the negatives. Reigns isn't a good talker. Keep him away from the mic. Just keep him away from the mic. Asuka is not a great talker, and it's not so much that she's not a good talker. Her dialect is hard to understand, and her promos come off awkward. And I know I'm all over the place, but one thing about the Reigns promo that I did like was Reigns basically saying, all those people have one thing in common. They can't beat Brock Lesnar. And if you watch WrestleMania a couple years ago, I would have beaten Brock Lesnar. And then Seth Rollins' music hits. And I thought that was perfect storytelling, because if you remember, it was Seth Rollins that prevented Reigns from beating Lesnar when he cashed in his Money in the Bank. So Rollins interrupting at that point, as soon as Reigns started mentioning WrestleMania 31, was perfect storytelling. I enjoyed the hell out of that. With Asuka, no. Why do they put a mic in front of this woman? I don't get it. Nia Jax coming out was probably the best part of that, only because I didn't get to hear any more of that promo. I was happy about that. They made Nia Jax look strong, beating up Asuka tonight, but we know Nia Jax not winning, right? I mean, right? We know that. We know Nia Jax is not gonna end Asuka's streak. And I know not everyone watches NXT, but I do. I mean, not regularly, but I watch the NXT specials at least. And we all know that when they fought in NXT, Asuka whooped Nia Jax's ass. Okay, so even though they're doing a good job of making Nia Jax look strong, prior to her match with Asuka, anybody that's watched NXT or anybody that has some sort of common sense about wrestling, even a common fan that knows that Asuka is not losing to Nia Jax. It's not gonna happen. While we're on that topic of women, Ronda Rousey is going to be at Elimination Chamber this Sunday, and she's going to be signing her contract. And we know she's going to Monday Night Raw. The question is, what is she going to do? You know, is she going to be inserted in the women's title match? Are they going to do The Rock and her versus Stephanie McMahon and Triple H? I don't know. I feel like if they were going to do the mixed tag match, they would have started building to that sooner than now, in my opinion. But I guess they can still pull it off. And who knows what The Rock's schedule is. Alright, so, and great hype video, by the way. WWE could make a pile of poop interesting with their hype video and their music. So, good hype video for Ronda Rousey. Titus Wade versus The Bar. This match was kind of there. It wasn't spectacular. But I believe this is the third time that Titus Wade beat The Bar. And you're not going to have The Bar lose a non-title match, the Raw, before pay-per-view. So that's unless it was going to lead to a title match. So, my prediction, if they do have a match, I predict The Bar to win. But that has not been announced yet. Like I said, the only matches that I saw on Wikipedia were the 2 chamber matches and Nia Jax and Asuka. Okay, that's creepy as shit that Bray Wyatt's music is playing right now, because I was just about to talk about Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. That match was announced on Raw, but it wasn't on Wikipedia. So that's 4 matches that we know of this Sunday. Bray and Matt, the 2 chamber matches, and Nia Jax and Asuka. And I enjoyed their promos back and forth tonight, which leads me to the main event. Now, before we even kick the main event off, inconsistent booking right off the bat. If Alexa Bliss is trying to befriend Mickie James, why are they on opposite teams? So that, right off the bat, I was already like, okay, inconsistent booking. They made up for it at the end, where Absolution jumped everybody, and they jumped Sasha after the match was over, because Sasha got the win on Alexa with the bank statement, and then Absolution jumped. They were gonna jump Alexa. Well, they did jump Alexa Bliss, and then Mickie James made the save. So. And I guess that kind of makes up for them being on separate teams. I kind of get it now. But at first, I didn't like that. So, overall, Raw was okay, I guess. I don't know if they did a good job of promoting a pay-per-view, because they spent the majority of their show really hyping up one match. And, again, props go to Seth Rollins for his performance tonight. 65 minutes. My God. That was one of the most amazing performances that I've seen on Raw in a long time. And I said it earlier in this video, I'll say it again. Win or lose, it is definitely Monday Night Rollins for sure, without a doubt. Rollins impressed me the most tonight with his performance. Like I said, the full card for Elimination Chamber is not out, so when it's out, I will bring you a video from Elimination Chamber. Tomorrow I'm going to watch SmackDown. I'm going to do the same thing I did tonight. I'm going to review SmackDown, and then I'm going to decide which show is better, and go from there. This has been episode 60 It feels good to be back doing the vlogs again. And I will see you tomorrow night when SmackDown is over. You guys have a wonderful night.